You're now listening to Mark Who 42 from the Whoniverse and beyond.
Hello, my name is Sarah Louise Madison, and I am the Weeping Angel from Doctor Who, and I also play one of the Time Zombies as well. And you are listening to Mark Who 42.
Mark Who 42 would like to welcome one of our newest sponsors, Highlander Novelties Comics and Games. They are run by my good friends Christian and Wendy Gillespie. Christian, they are good people, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I was just about to say, I was like, I don't run that store. Or the other Christian.
Highlander Novelties is a one-stop shop for pop and geek culture items.
Yes.
They specialize in the unique and throwback characters from the past and present. They've got comic books. They've got decals for your car. They've got signs. They make them themselves. You should visit them at 364 Story Road in Ocoee, Florida. That's like right outside Orlando, isn't it, Christian?
A bit northwest outside of Orlando. Yeah, we were very excited to be part of the grand opening that they had out there and are even more excited that they've joined the family of sponsors here at Mark Who 42. You can check them out on their Facebook site. Again, as Mark mentioned, they are in Ocoee, Florida, located at 364 Story Road. Check out their Facebook site for their business hours. Check out for also any specials going on. I believe on their site they're having a special on October the 28th for Halloween Comic Fest.
Yes, they're having the Halloween Comic Fest 2017 and costume contest on the 28th. Just look up Highlander Novelties in the search bar and you'll find them. And please don't forget to tell them Mark Who 42 sent you. Welcome to Mark Who 42 here on Krypton Radio. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and with me today is...
Iggy Matthews. How's it going?
Hi, Iggy, and guess what? It's just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Oh, yeah. We can make it if we try. Patty is on assignment. He's been doing Raleigh Supercon and getting ready for Florida Supercon, this being the Road to Supercon episode. Zion is studying for a test in his university, and Christian Basil right now is with our guest from the last 2 weeks, Daphne Ashbrook, on a day trip to the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. Yeah. So he'll have some stories about that, hopefully, in the next coming episodes. But this being the Road to Supercon, we have our guests that'll be on later on the show. They are Cos A Commotion, and yes, that's C-O-S-A Commotion, Cos A Commotion.
Pun intended.
Pun
awesome.
Definitely intended. Shellane and Dean Demarest are on the show. But first... it's time for Mark Who 42 News with your Mark Who 42 newswoman, Iggy Matthews. Iggy.
That's right.
What do we got?
Correct. First of all, we are going to be discussing just a couple of articles that you can easily read more on markwho42.net. But just to touch briefly, we have, I believe, Deborah? Unfortunately,
she passed. Deborah Watling.
Yes. She was the companion, and unfortunately, she passed away July 21st, 2017.
Yeah, you being a new...
due to lung cancer.
You probably haven't seen her episodes, have you?
I have not. But of course, any sort of tragic death like this, especially one involving the fight against cancer, is definitely one that takes a toll on everyone. Yeah. And so we wish her and her family, from Mark Who 42 to you, we wish you the best and our condolences.
Yeah, Deborah Watling played Victoria Waterfield. She started in The Evil of the Daleks, and most of her episodes are lost forever in the culling of the Doctor Who episodes back in the 70s, and that's kind of sad. because she makes a great companion. I actually got to meet her 34 years ago, and she was very nice. She's done Big Finish. She was in Dimensions in Time, that untalked about Doctor Who EastEnders mashup from Children in Need back in the 80s for the 30th anniversary. And yeah, she was definitely somebody who I wish we got to see more of on Doctor
She was
Who.
absolutely beautiful. If you look at the photos from when she was the companion, like she's just like this most adorable, breathtaking. Like she almost looks like a modern like Abercrombie and Fitch model. You know, she has that face, and she's just gorgeous. And even as she aged, she's just beautiful. It's just like Debbie Reynolds, adorable. But yeah, no, it's definitely unfortunate. You know, nobody really wants to hear like another loss to, cancer. I believe hers was lung cancer. So
yeah, and she died young. She was not old.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and I'm sure the family's grieving right now. And you know, so long as they can know that her work was never forgotten and she will always be remembered.
Yeah.
But on to more
maybe
less sad news.
More sad news.
Less. Onto more news, but less sad.
Okay.
What is it? BBC released a statement regarding the backlash of negative feedback with the casting of Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. BBC went ahead and said, quote, since the first Doctor regenerated back in 1966, the concept of the Doctor as a constantly evolving being has been central to the program. The continual input and fresh ideas and new voices across the cast and the writing and production teams to be key to the longevity of the series. So essentially what they're saying in big fancy words is we were kind of going to do this eventually. Welcome to eventually.
Yeah.
The Doctor is an alien from a planet Gallifrey and has been established in the show as a Time Lords can switch genders. And that one was pretty much kind of put in your face there when the Master transformed him to Missy. And I think that's kind of them like warming us up to it, like, hey, get ready because the Doctor's going to be next. So basically what the statement the BBC released was that they are absolutely for this is not something that was impulsively done or any sort of mistake, that this was well thought out and something that they're going to be pushing forward with. Me personally, I'm happy with those news. I like it.
Let's talk about that. What are your reactions of a female? Because we, Zion, myself, and Christian spoke directly after we found out about her becoming a Doctor, and I said it's about time, and it's good news, and Chris Chibnall will write good stories. I'm looking forward to it, but you weren't on the show last week, so what do you think about this announcement and about what the show's future could be?
Well, first of all, shock. Because they got me, man. Typically, especially with the kind of business that we're in with Mark Who 42, we kind of get the inside scoop, and unfortunately things are a little spoiled for us before we even watch it because we're just so into it. We're getting all this information, and I didn't see it coming.
No, I thought Chris Marshall had it sewn in the bag.
Right? And I'm just like, wow, okay, so you guys really know how to keep things quiet when you really want to. I'm like, all right, cool. And so there was that shock right there. And then I am a little bit frustrated because I didn't immediately recognize the actress. It wasn't, it was like Jodie Whittaker. And I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. And then I realized that it only sounded familiar because Forrest Whitaker. And I'm like, that's not related at all. What? No.
Forrest Whitaker is the new Doctor. You heard it here last on Mark Who 42. No.
Oh my gosh, no. That's gonna be the real backlash right there. It's like, what? But no, I was shocked in all the best ways because I see that and I'm going, oh my God, how is this going to be? Because I'm thinking like a quirky female, and I'm looking at her and I can see her at some point having her hair all messed up and like, what's going on? No, just being like all over the place and quirky. And I'm like, okay, well, it would be interesting to see how this is going to work together with all the other characters that we have. Like, is Nardole still going to be there? We'll see what the new companion is going to be. Yeah. We'll see what everything's going on. Is it going to be a male-female thing going on?
Hunk. It's going to be a male bodybuilding hunk as a companion. No, it will not.
No. It needs to be. No, it needs to be.
It does need to be. All I know is right now, while we're recording this, I'm looking at my desktop on my computer, and there is a big picture of Jodie's face staring right at me, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, you know what? And it might not be because I know that several actors had plenty of input to say regarding the whole gender switch. And Karen Gillan, for one, she was...
Karen Gillan,
she was absolutely ecstatic about it. The same, like John Barrowman, Billy Piper, Colin Baker, and David Tennant all responded positively to the news. The only one that was kind of a little neener about it was Peter Davidson. And his was more like a mixed feelings type of response. It wasn't like, oh, I'm not happy about this, but it was more of a, this is interesting. I'm not jumping up and down for joy per se, but I am not upset about it. I believe you quoted him better when we spoke about this earlier, Mark.
Yeah, he feels like boys are going to lose a role model in this, that the history of Doctor Who and the traditions in England, that the little boys wanted to always grow up and be the Doctor, and now it's like, well, can they still? So I think that's his worry, but at the same time, he says, it may not be a bad idea. It might be good. So
go for it.
Yeah, so that would be mixed feelings, like you said. Yeah, mixed. He's not against it. He just thinks that some children may be a little confused and may not have someone to look at.
And that's fine, because it goes from somebody to look up to perhaps this might be your first childhood crush, and that's okay. That's okay. But, for me, it's a strong female lead in sci-fi, which, when you start throwing out, all these little comments, it's easy to sound a lot like a feminist. And, not by any means am I trying to sound that way. It's just a matter of, it's nice. I mean, it's understood that the ratio between men and women in sci-fi for lead roles is tipped. It's rising up. You got Supergirl, Wonder Woman, you got, Mad Max, Fury, you got plenty now that's coming up. But the female lead roles that are out there in sci-fi are kick-ass. Yeah. They're absolutely awesome. And it leaves you wanting more. So to see Doctor Who making that step in that direction and going, it doesn't really matter your gender. It matters, can you do the role or can you not do the role? And that's the part right there that I appreciate more than anything. So I'm excited. I'm wanting to see her personality, what she sounds like, what she's going to feel like, what she's going to wear, how she's going to walk. I'm ready for everything. This is a whole new twist. It's like I don't know the Doctor at all.
Right.
So... And you're still pumped and excited about it?
I'm very pumped and excited about it. I really am. And I gotta tell you, I noticed something. When Peter Capaldi, and this has been going on through the history of Doctor Who, the people go, oh, we don't like the new Doctor, and then they fall in love with the new Doctor and all that stuff. But here's the thing. When Peter Capaldi was announced, all the newbies, all the new series of Doctor Who fans, they were really the ones that were kind of in an uproar, like, oh, he's old, he's, and all that stuff, and we're not going to watch, all the fangirls. And that's because the newbies watching New Who, it was a complete change. Well, this time, it seems with the announcement of a female Doctor that the classic Doctor Who fans are up in an uproar because of tradition. The newbies, are gung-ho. Well, it is part of the mythos. We have Missy now. Corsair changed sex. We find that on the Neil Gaiman Doctor's Wife story. And it's the old Doctor Who fan, maybe of my generation, that are the ones who are a little upset. And I just find that interesting. Everyone has an opinion, and that's good. Everyone should have an opinion.
Good. That means everybody's involved.
Yeah. If they didn't like Doctor Who, they wouldn't care.
Exactly. So obviously you care enough to provide time, effort, words, and opinion into it, and it is appreciated and acknowledged.
And definitely, as part of caring, give her a chance. See how it's going to be. Don't just go, I'm not going to watch.
Oh, come on. We go through this with every Doctor.
Right. But I've seen people who have already posted, Doctor Who is dead, I'm not watching. And that's wrong.
Yeah.
No, you like Doctor Who, give it a chance. Don't wuss out. Don't wuss out.
Wussies, don't do it.
Hashtag don't wuss out.
I'm going to post that on my personal profile right now.
Go for it. And just to let you know, in 2 weeks, because next week we're going to take a skip week because of Florida Supercon, but in 2 weeks we are going to have a very special show, and on this show we are going to have a bunch of male and female fans of Doctor Who.
Oh, it's going to be a party.
And the men will have a segment to talk about their reaction and their opinions on it, and that will be run by me and Christian. And then there will be also a female contingent of fans, professional fans, and Iggy will be running that. You will be the moderator by yourself for that, and we are going to have a super debate. We're going to have that. And I'm just letting you know that, Iggy, because I didn't tell you that. So
yeah, I'm trying to contain my excitement, and by excitement, I mean utter fear. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll be there as director and editor and all that stuff. I'll be there, but I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to be on mute. So
I'm just afraid for the boys. This debate is going to only swing one way. Okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to steer it to yay. And, if they steer it to boo, I'm going to call them to task on that. And I'm sure you will, too.
It's all right. I do my own stunts. I got this.
Good. Okay. So that'll be in 2 weeks. Do we have any other news?
Right now, you know what? It's probably best if it ends right here, because if I had more news, it'd probably be another celebrity death, and I'm so tired of it. 2016 still has me traumatized. I have PTSD. And no more.
Yeah, last year was bad, but this year is starting to shape up to be bad in terms of...
Yeah, but notice one thing. They always come in sets of threes, though, because one that's completely unrelated that hurt me was the lead singer from Linkin Park.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I'm like, what's my childhood? No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I was upset about that. But
all I know is that the Undertakers are doing good business, and that's not always a good thing.
And there's an Incredibles 2 coming in the future, so I'm holding on to the positivity in life.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a little break here, guys. When we come back, we are going to go to Cos A Commotion with Shellane and Dean Demarest, and we'll be talking to them about their cosplay and other fun things on the road to Supercon, Florida Supercon, here on Mark Who 42 on Krypton Radio. We'll be right back.
And this new segment of Mark Who 42 has been brought to you by Cosplay Convention Center. You can see more information about them at markwho42.net. The great thing about this is they are a database for cosplayers, for practically anybody who works in the convention limelight. If you're looking for us, they have a database that not only narrows down where we're going to be, but if you're looking, let's say, for Doctor Who conventions in your area, Doctor Who conventions in general, or other genres, you can go to their site and you can go into the database, narrow down your search to locations that are close by to you. It's a wonderful database tool to use if you need information about your favorite genre, your favorite podcast, where they're going to appear, all of that. Check it out for yourself. Go down to markwho42.net and click on the icon for Cosplay Convention Center. You'll be glad you did. Tell them markwho42.net sent you.
Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Mark Who 42 after this.
And I'd like to say right now, Mark Who 42 is proud to have 9.9 Comics as a sponsor for our show. 9.9 Comics, if you're out in Brevard County, this is one of the places to go and visit. They've just started recently, and they're located off of 1284 Sarno Road in the Melbourne area. They're starting out, but I met Matt and the team, and they are just really, really, as far as customer service is concerned, phenomenal. It's a really great store. They were telling me about a point system, Mark, and forgive me, I'm not familiar with it, but that's where the 9.9 comes from. When you go to a comic book store, some comics are just laying out there loose, and for everybody to read and such like that. And every time somebody picks it up, it kind of depreciates over time. Not in this store. Every comic is protected. In fact, you can't even read the comics. They're all protected for your pleasure. So if you want to keep these comics for longevity and possibly later on try to sell them to make money off of them, they have every comic sealed up and protected. It's just phenomenal. Not only that, but one of the things I love about this comic shop is they sponsor the Candlelighters of Brevard. Now, these folks are a nonprofit organization that take care of children in the Brevard area who are suffering from cancer. So if you want more information on them, go to www.candlelightersofbrevard.org. If you want more information about the charity that they sponsor, and definitely go on their Facebook site at 9.9 Comics. Can't miss it. Matt and the team are wonderful. Go visit them out there and tell them that Mark Who 42 sent you.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Briggs,
The voice of many monsters on Doctor Who.
and executive producer of Big Finish Productions. And I'm pleased to announce that Mark Who 42 Books have joined forces with Big Finish to bring you Big Finish Audio.
There's this fella who calls himself the Doctor, and he says he has saved me, and we are in his time machine.
You're right. I think I've broken something. What about you?
Yes, I'm fine, thanks.
I rather think I broke your fall.
Oh, sorry.
Mark Who 42 Books will now offer to bring you the best in Big Finish Audio.
But why are they here?
How do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, no need to. I'm the Doctor, and this is...
I am Leela.
By all means, please do come out to play, Doctor. I'm waiting for you.
To find where Mark Who 42 Books will be, go to markwho42.net or on their Facebook site at markwho42.
What are you saying? They fizzled in somehow, like the TARDIS?
Yeah, transmat from another dimension. The TARDIS doesn't fizzle. It's more of a...
Also go to markwho42.net and download my interview with the team.
You're executive producer at Big Finish Productions.
Correct.
Correct.
Is this a quiz?
Mark Who 42, taking you to the Whoniverse and beyond.
Hi, this is Sebastian J. Brooke from Doctor Who Online, and hello to everyone at Mark Who 42.
Welcome back to Mark Who 42 here on Krypton Radio. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and we've got Christian here, Christian Basil, friend of me, and co-producer, and co-producer of our show, And you brought us, because Florida Supercon starts tomorrow, and we're going to be there. And we thought on today's show, we were going to interview some people who are going to be attending, and not attending, but guests at Florida Supercon.
Yeah, if you're just listening to this on Krypton Radio on Wednesday, Florida Supercon will start the following day, the 27th. And there's some incredible talent that we've always come across at conventions. And the folly of working conventions is that, I've mentioned this a billion times over, but when you work the conventions, you don't really have time to play. You're kind of at your booth, and I'm sure our guest can attest to this, is that you kind of just hang around and you have to do your thing, and then you see all these incredible other things around you, and just like, can I just step away and look at what's going on? But you don't have time. So
why don't we introduce those guests, Christian? Why don't you do that?
So I'm glad to say that a friend of Mark Who 42's and my personal friends, the team from Cos A Commotion. Woo-hoo! When the cosplay looks real. I'll let them introduce themselves. We do a lot of introducing. So, Shellane, can you please, and your hubby, tell us more about your cosplay, Cos A Commotion, and how you guys got started?
Well, I am Shellane Demarest, and this is...
I am Dean.
I am Fruit. I am Dean.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And we are Cos A Commotion. We are a real-life married couple who cosplays. We initially started cosplaying Gotham, our Gotham cosplay. I was Fish Mooney, and Dean was Oswald Cobblepot.
And I've seen pictures. You're great at those. Oh, those are beautiful.
And then after that, we've also done, we call it Michonne, but it's the Michonne and Rick Grimes cosplay also that we do, and we've now added Guardians cosplay. He's Star-Lord and I'm Gamora. So we're having a lot of fun with these cosplays. You know, we always try to find two characters that have a dynamic backstory, and we kind of run with it.
What got you guys into cosplay now? Shellane, you are in the military. Dean, you're a firefighter. So what got you into this type of geekdom there?
Yeah, well, actually, Shellane retired now from the military for a few years now, but yeah, she was serving.
Thank you for your services.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I am a firefighter. I'm in my final year. I'm going to be retiring soon. So we're going to be doing more and more traveling. But to your question, and yeah, we started really doing conventions together, cons together about 14, 15 months ago. It's really the first time we ever went to one, which was last May, Orlando MegaCon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we went to that, and I had never been to one before. She said, let's go to one, let's see what it's like. And she decided, since she happens to favor Jada Pinkett Smith, that she would dress up as Fish Mooney. And we went in, because we live here in Orlando, so it was an easy ride. We went in there, and I just took my camera, and I was in civilian clothes, and walked around with her, and we couldn't get in. We weren't in there for 5 minutes. We had a line around the corner waiting to get the picture taken with her.
Wow.
And that's when I kind of realized something was happening, that everybody was paying attention to Shellane and her character. And anyway, during that con, as I was watching, again, we couldn't get 10 feet without another picture. We ended up meeting up with a gentleman who's a good friend of ours now, Cecil Garner, who's Cecil Grimes Cosplay.
Yes, we are very good friends with him, yeah.
Turns out that we just started chatting with him, one of those small world things. He lives in the Melbourne area, and my mom and dad live in Melbourne Beach, so it turns out that they were almost neighbors. And one thing led to another, and we started talking, and we became friendly. And I watched Cecil do what he did, and again, this is, this past May, so it's about 14 months ago. And I watched him doing set play. I had no idea what set play was. I didn't even know what cosplay was, but I saw him having great success, and all these fans lined up, and it was just amazing. And I just put two and two together, and that day I said, we're going to do set play, and I'm going to figure out how to base it on, in this particular case, on our Gotham characters. And that's when we started doing it.
So it just came about that you guys just were starting the line. The same thing with Cecil when we interviewed him. He said he was working at the bank, and people would just constantly walk up to him going, you know who you look like? No, you know who you look like. And he finally got tired of it, and he said, I'll do it. I'll cosplay it there. So how did Cos A Commotion become an entity? How did that, where did they came out of the fire to finally come out to its fruition there?
So, as I stated earlier, Florida Supercon was our first cosplay convention together. Just attending.
She finally got me to dress
right,
up.
because at the time when it was MegaCon Orlando, it was I that was cosplaying Fish Mooney. He wasn't in cosplay. So when we went to Florida Supercon, I remember this like yesterday. We were in the photo op section against the black backdrop, and we were just standing there, just looking around, and people were coming up to us, and they were, they asked, can we get a picture? Yeah, sure. And then I remember the fifth person asking us, how much is it for the picture? And we were like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, because we were in the photo op section, but we were like, where the lines are. Yeah, that's where we were standing. We were just standing next to the queue line. We weren't actually, doing. And then that's when he said, we need to do something with this. And that's when we collaborated with Cecil. And he gave us a template. This is my platform. Now you take it and run with it. And if you need any help, I'm here as far as any assistance, as far as, like build questions or things like that. But you guys can do this. So we were a little nervous at first because we were like, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? And it was just trial and error. And we've discovered this community is such it's a strong community. If you, karma always, it wins. So, we believe in goodwill. So we're always there to try to help people, and it comes back. And that's what this community has done. Little bits of information between Cecil, Charles Watson, a Florida con artist, Christian. And everyone has just come along. Terrence just come along and then just kind of like helped us along the way. And we always want to make sure that we give back.
Yeah, especially thanks to Terrence with ICCon 3. Because it was a smaller convention, we actually had a chance to interact with each other more than... Actually, I didn't even get to see you guys. You guys were across the hall, but I was able to interact more with the people around us and get to talk to people and such like that. And when you get to find out who the neighbors are at a convention, and you find out they're not only at that convention, but at others, and they come back and back and back, It starts to become like a, for a better term, hashtag con family. Yeah. So I kind of like that new family outlet, because even though maybe we have differences, we're a podcast, we're a radio show, we're cosplayers, we're authors and such like that, there's still a love that we have for our geekdoms that we can combine together and work together at different conventions there. So from what it sounds like, it wasn't easy to get into the cosplay world from just jumping into it. What made you decide? What was the barrier that you broke to finally say, I'm going to put on this, I'm going to put on the makeup, I'm going to wear this, and I'm going to do this? And what advice would you give to people who are probably right at the doorstep of trying to cosplay, but just can't seem to get through it and just put on that first leg of their pant or put on that first piece of makeup to just go ahead and do it?
Well, I'll take this first part, and then Dean can, he can back it up. For me, I would definitely recommend that the person really to embrace a character that they truly love. That's number one. And then from there, study that character. Because for us, cosplay is not just putting on the costume or putting on the makeup or the wig. You have to embrace that character. You have to live that character. You want people to forget that they're talking to Shellane or Dean. You want them to think, I think I am talking to, because we've encountered that at Claremont last year. There was a girl, she was geeking out over the whole fandom that she wouldn't even come to us. She was crying. She was shaking. She was just freaking out. We had to walk over to her. We have, and we actually have that on YouTube, which is awesome because no one would believe this. But it's like whatever papers and stuff she had, she dropped them on the floor. I mean, she really believed she was talking to Oswald. And of course, Dean, of course, he won't do it now. But when he's in the right, I guess, frame of mind, he actually can sound like Robin Lord Taylor. So when he introduced himself, it was kind of unfair. He actually tilted his head the right way, extended his hand, and he actually imitated his voice. So he sounded like Robin. And that's when she lost it. She dropped her papers on the floor and started shaking and crying. It was incredible. But one has to embody that character. And then from there, pretty much dismiss what anyone says. Because if you love what you're doing, you're not going to care what others say. Whether you're if you're fat, you're skinny, you're a different, gender or different color. It doesn't matter. If you love what you're doing and you're like embracing that character, who cares? Yeah,
I agree with everything that Shellane said. You have to really love, you want to do it and put that pair of pants on the first time and just kind of go out there. And a lot of people, maybe they think they're going to be embarrassed or something like that. But when you walk into 40, 50,000 people all geeked out wearing the stuff, you're one of the geeks, we are. And it's just fun, and everybody has a good time. Certainly what we're doing, I'm the business person and Shellane's the face, but we kind of turned it more into a business. Most people don't do what we're doing, especially with the set play. If you're going to be involved in set play, which is a whole offshoot of cosplay, it's a whole different thing. And it usually is more of a business oriented thing, although we love what we do. But not everybody's going to dive into building 10 by 10 foot sets, 14 feet in the air, with all these props and all this good stuff. Most people want to go and just have fun. They want to, and they put a lot of work into their cosplays and into their costumes. But that's what I would suggest everybody ever try first before they start getting involved with doing things and getting complicated with set play. We kind of jumped straight into it. We almost kind of went backwards. We jumped straight into set play first. It was kind of a weird thing. But most people who are listening now, their interest is just getting out there and having a good time. That's what the cons are for. Having a good time, just doing it and making friends and making new friends and being with the friends that you already know. It's great. It's a great time for everybody.
This is actually a total compliment to Shellane, because the first time I think, Shellane, I don't even think you had the booth. I don't think you were even Cos A Commotion. I think I met you guys at that MegaCon. And when you were walking around, the first thing that jumped in my mind, first of all, wow. And then second of all, it's like, did they really pay Jada to dress up? How much money did they fork over to Jada to dress up? And it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Mark, on our website, www.cosacommotion.com. Wink, wink.
Yes. You're allowed to. Yeah, definitely go for it.
Trust me, every episode I tell people, if Mark walks into the room, have an outlet because he's got a plug somewhere. So
absolutely. Well, we have on the URL as well as on our Facebook and our Instagram account, we have clips of a video where Robin Lord Taylor, who plays the Penguin, came in last year to do a charity event for, what was it?
And it was Heroes and Villains Fan Fest.
Heroes and Villains Fan Fest here in Orlando at the Convention Center to raise funds for the Pulse shooting victims.
September 17th.
Yeah. And she dressed up, got online, and one of Robin's handlers noticed her online and pulled her from the line before Robin had come out onto stage to do the autograph signings, and seated her in his chair. And all of a sudden, all the cameras came out. I wasn't there. I was at the fire station working that day. I didn't get to participate. But anyway, her video went viral. When Robin came out, he thought that Jada was there and gave her a big hug and was just shocked. Yeah, and
the ultimate compliment.
Oh, it was fantastic. So if anybody wants to see, if you go to our website or onto our Facebook account, we do have it posted there. It went viral within a half hour. We had thousands and thousands and thousands of hits from dozens of people who just randomly posted for us on there. And Robin just lost his mind. And it turned out that at the end, while they were up on stage, Robin took out his phone and asked for a selfie of the two of them together. So that was really a lot of fun.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna boost the egos for the two of you over here. One of the things I love, not one of the things, many of the things that I love, but one of the top things about Cos A Commotion, one of the criticisms I've always had about cosplayers, not naming any names, but there's always been seen two types of cosplayers. One is the cosplayer who sits behind the table. They're playing on their cell phone. They just don't seem to interact or anything of that nature. And then, unfortunately, when I go to conventions, I still see a few of those. And then there's Cecil Grimes and Cos A Commotion and all the cosplayers, all the ones that we've befriended and seen going around. They're in front of the table, per se. But you guys have taken it, they're in front of the table, they're posing, they're talking to people. Some of them are actually acting as though they were the character, and they're making it, like you guys said, an experience for people. It becomes an experience now. It's not just a marketing thing. It's more for people to be embraced and brought into the world. And one of the things I love about you guys is that you guys come early and build an actual set of one for Gotham. You guys build a set out there, and I think it was a Claremont Con.
It was Claremont Con, yeah.
I had to keep walking by this, and it was almost like, is this a dream or is this for real? And you guys embrace the traveling TARDIS, which now I call it the cosplayer's best friend. But tell us a little bit about how you now are into this world of building sets for people to be immersed into the world that you want to portray for them.
Well, I mean, we do live in Orlando, so it's just like when you go to Universal or you go to Disney or any of the other theme parks, it's an experience, like you said. And so rather than have the random snapshot of your cosplayer by the men's room or the water fountain or the dumpster or the trash can,
Right.
we want to give them that experience, and then on top of that, we want to give them the keepsake. So we also give the digital copy of it as well, just like you would at the other place, the other celebrities there. You get the photo op as well as the the selfie, whatever. But we believe in giving that keepsake because how many times have you had to make room on your phone? You had to delete something because you don't have enough space on your phone. Well, if you have that keepsake, you'll always have it.
Yeah, and by keepsake, what she's referring to is that we have a color printer there at the set. So when our photographer takes the photo, within 9 seconds, they're going to get a full color 6x8 picture of themselves in our set with our characters. So that when she refers to keepsake, what she's talking about. And they can also use their own phones, so they have a digital copy as well. So we're actually giving them something they can take with them, which is exactly the model that Cecil Grimes was using for his Walking Dead. It was the same kind of thing. Right. So we picked up on that. So that's what she's referring to with that. And it's something nice that somebody can have. And I hope that we're on people's little mini wall of fames at home in a small frame somewhere around the country.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to say this as a side note, and this is actually, it's funny that you mentioned this, and actually I think Mark would get a kick out of this. I recently went to the Coliseum Comics for a signing, and one of the actresses there is Daphne Ashbrook. Now, Mark, you remember going to Oklahoma City, right?
Yeah. And how could I forget?
Yeah, it was all of the TV movie actors from the 1996 The Enemy Within. However, do you remember the picture you took?
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the people in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, lo and behold, Daphne made copies of that picture, and on that picture, is the traveling TARDIS.
Oh, wow.
So anytime she does signing and she has the entire team from that movie, my TARDIS is sitting in her picture that she's signing. And I freaked out.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Product placement for you guys. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she goes, which picture do you want? I said, did you really ask me that question? And she goes, did you want the picture? I said, yes. And she goes, no, I give it to you. And I'm like, I'm buying this one. You don't understand. I want to buy this one. So you've done Gotham. You've done The Walking Dead. You've done oh God, you guys! If you get a chance to see Cos A Commotion now with Guardians of the Galaxy, holy cow, it's amazing. But what other? Yes,
we're doing that tomorrow. Tomorrow in Fort Lauderdale, we'll be doing that. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm definitely going to find you guys. I'm definitely in that building somewhere. I'll find you somewhere. But what other cosplay ideas have you come up with? And what have been challenges for you as far as coming up with a new idea?
Well, I know for myself, because Dean is, he's still in his firefighter occupation, there are times where there's certain events I attend where he's not with me. And it's those events where I will experiment. So I haven't done it yet. I've tried it out here. It was Lana Kane from Archer. And that's interesting because, again, it's becoming that character. So for me, each time I go and experiment with a different cosplay, there's also other things that kind of challenges my skill set, if you will, with my cosplay. And for me, it's the makeup. So as Lana Kane for Archer, there's that comic book pop art. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's where you look like a comic book character as opposed to just a human. You have to look more two-dimensional. So that was a challenge. And then also, too, is finding cosplays that are believable for me, So,
right.
Even though there's certain cosplays in the anime world, in the sci-fi world that, I find interesting. I kind of look at like Tina Turner's Mad Max's character. When we were at Vault 5421 last night, they had a post-apocalyptic, theme going on. And I was like, I should really see about doing that because I've had it.
Absolutely. Do it.
But
you will put Tina to justice.
Yeah, thank you. So, and for Dean, I think for us in general, we typically like to try to find cosplay characters that have that backstory. So if you watch Archer, you have Lana Kane, and then you have Archer. There's a dynamic there.
Yeah. Actually, and to be totally transparent, and that's nice that there's a background, but we're a mixed couple. So it's no coincidence that whenever we're doing cosplay, it happens to be an African-American woman and a Caucasian male. And that's why you have Rick and Michonne, and that's why you have Penguin and Fish Mooney. And now we have Gamora, who, even though she's green, she's black. And Rick Star-Lord. I mean, that's just a reality that we're quite purposely finding couples that we can play that happen to be black and white. With Archer and Lana Kane, same thing. I guess that'll come up as time goes by. So it's not that we're pigeonholed necessarily, but if you want to make it more believable, so we kind of have both the luxury and the extra effort of finding those characters, but it's a lot easier for us to pull off Penguin and Fish Mooney than two white people. I mean, it's just a reality. So, we can kind of capture a lot of characters that other couples can't do.
But that's also the challenge.
Yeah,
it's a two-edged sword. So the challenge is trying to find cosplays that have that dynamic. So.
Yeah.
Well, on a personal level, I think one of the things I think about cosplay, especially for people who do it, there is no limits. This is your art. This is what you say. This is what you state. And this is what, for a better term, you can afford. But this is something that... And that's why I don't like. I've affectionately called it cosplay shaming for whether it be size, it would be, you're not the right type, or you don't have the right outfit, or it's not the 19 some odd year version. I said, this is what the persons want. And maybe that's all they could do. That's all they could afford. There have been some cosplayers I've seen out there who go to Goodwill, put something together better than some of the people who actually bought the costume out there. Yeah. And they take it to a whole new level. But you guys, you do an incredible job. Speaking of which, of incredible jobs, besides Supercon tomorrow, what locations are you coming up with? You're going to be joining us at Space Coast Comic-Con. I know that for a fact.
Yes. So September is going to be probably one of the craziest months for us because we have Space Coast Comic-Con, and then I think it's 2 weeks after that is Salt Lake Comic-Con. And then at the end of that week is MegaCon Tampa Bay, and we're driving.
Yeah, we have to drive everywhere because we have our own.
Our set.
And we're going to be at MegaCon Tampa Bay too, so we're going to be touring around a lot together again. So
we'll be busy driving all the way out to Salt Lake City, Utah, just to turn around and immediately do the con.
And then in October, I will be attending, not as a guest, I'll be attending New York Comic Con. And then later on that month, we will both be attending Walker Stalker at end of October. And then November, we are appearing at Heroes Fan Fest in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Please, if you haven't had a chance, tomorrow at Florida Supercon, well, depending upon when you're listening to this, if you're going to Florida Supercon, make sure not only do you stop by the Mark Who 42 booth and our panels, you definitely want to check out Cos A Commotion. If you have, if you want to check out more of their stuff, where their appearances are at, and the people who are, you have an entourage now of stuff.
Yeah.
People who come out there. But if you definitely want to check out more about Cos A Commotion, it's spelled COSACommotion.com. Please check these people out. They are amazing. I mean, if you're looking for cosplayers, this is totally worth it, and it's totally an experience, and we do want people to come and support our friends out there. So guys, thank you so much for coming on, and we will see you around the convention circuit sometime out there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you guys for coming.
This portion of Mark Who 42 has been brought to you by Harley Quinn Cosplay and Crafts. You can go to our site right now, markwho42.net, and click on her icon. Make sure to use promo code MarkWho42 for free shipping of any of her cosplay images and merchandise. And you will see Amelia Poole, that's her real name, Amelia Poole, who runs the site. She's going to be at the Space Coast Comic Con and a lot more other conventions coming up on the Space Coast. She usually hangs around there in Central Florida. Gorgeous woman. Absolutely gorgeous. You got to see her Harley Quinn cosplay. You got to see her Dana from Ghostbusters. I mean, just a beautiful woman on that. And she actually does some crafts, including, I guess, what they call the Cobb hat, the Firefly hat that Jane Cobb uses. She's got merchandise up there. Check it out. Tell her once you see her anywhere, Mark Who 42 sent you.
Don't go away. We'll be back with more Mark Who 42 after this.
Mark Who 42 is proud to have Famous Faces and Funnies. This is a huge, mega comic book store. I mean, they just have literally tons and tons of comic books, novelties, everything. They're located off of 3020 New Haven Avenue in West Melbourne. And if you want to give them a call and just let them know Mark Who 42 sent you, it's 321-259-3575. But this thing is just a huge, I mean, you've seen comic book stores and nothing against them, but you've seen them, these tiny little shops, and they have comic books and they have merchandise and memorabilia and such like that. This place is like the best term I can put is the Costco of comic book shops. So you go from one store and there's another section, and it's just huge. They have Funkos. They have tons and tons and tons of stuff in there. I mean, it's hard to explain. But if you have any geekdom out there, Famous Faces and Funnies have got it covered for you, from Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, everything. And also Rick is the guy who runs it, and all the team over there, nice, friendly people. Definitely want to check out our friends at Famous Faces and Funnies in the West Melbourne area if you're out there.
The voice of Christian Basil, take one.
Hi, I'm Christian Basil, and I would like to provide my voice for all your voiceover needs, such as...
Okay, like an announcer.
Like a what?
Like an announcer.
For all your voiceover needs, such as animation, radio, announcements, introductions...
Now an old man.
I can even record voicemail for all the Meshuggahs that call you.
A pirate.
Arr, and it won't cost you a lot of treasure for me services. Arr.
Creepy movie voice.
Just call 407-761-2679. 407-761-2679, or email voiceofchristianbasil@yahoo.com. Well, how was that?
That's a wrap.
Hello, I'm John St. John, best known as the voice of Duke Nukem, and you're listening to Mark Who 42. Don't tune out.
Well, that was a great interview. I always like cosplay, and I can't wait to see them. Florida Supercon does start tomorrow.
How exciting.
It does. If you're listening to us on Krypton Radio on Wednesday this week, the week of the 23rd through 30th, we are one day away from Florida Supercon, and it's going to be a great convention, and I think brings me to the convention listings, Iggy. It's a perfect segue.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your shot glasses ready because Mark Who 42 will be...
Yeah, it's drinking. It's time to get drunk.
Yeah, this is the game. I have no idea where you guys are going to be.
Well, we're going to be at Florida Supercon. Supercon is July 27th through 30th, 2017 at the Broward County, or sometimes known as Fort Lauderdale Convention Center on the 17th Street Causeway. It is going to be an exciting convention because we've got Sarah Louise Madison.
What? We've had her here.
We've had her on the show, the head weeping angel. We have Karen Gillan, who you mentioned in the first half of the show. She's going to be there talking about Amy and Nebula.
God, she's so awesome. She is an awesome woman.
Maybe someone can ask her some selfie questions. I don't know. Find out, if she's upset that the show got canceled. Note to self, I wasn't. I didn't like the show. I'm sorry. The big name, Peter Capaldi, will be there. Peter's going to be there. I've seen him before, but I'll see him again. And what's cool about the Peter Capaldi thing, our own Patty Hawkins is doing the Q&As at Supercon, so we will be hosting and moderating all those panels, including Peter Capaldi's.
Very nice.
The Peter Capaldi panel is on Sunday, so if you can only go one day, Sunday.
Go one Sunday.
Yeah, and what's really cool about it is the 35 minutes before the interview, Mark Who 42 will be running a Peter Capaldi pre-show.
Shut the front door. No, you're lying.
So we will be the first thing you hear as you walk in to get your seats. So that's great. And we're running all the Doctor Who panels as well. I mean, there are, I think, like 12 or 13 panels, and we're doing all of them. So that's going to be...
do you get a break for water in between somewhere?
Oh, yeah. We do have a little bit of time to break. And what's also cool, if you want to say hello to us between our panels and the celebrity interviews, you can always come to the Mark Who 42 booth. We're at booth 2101 in the vendor's room, and we will be selling Doctor Who books, Big Finish audios. We've got the John Hurt War Doctor audios, so you can pick those up. They are a great story, and they fill in the blanks. They fill in the blanks between the old Who and new Who.
Yes, that is so cool.
Yeah, and we've got some first and second Doctor stories, and we've got, we got tons of stuff, and it's going to be fun. That's booth 2101 in the vendor's room.
And to be real, that's the only booth anybody needs to go to, because the rest of the booths are just crap. That's just the place you go throw away your money.
Yeah,
with.
We've got sonic screwdrivers. We've got decals for your car. We've got TARDIS driving licenses, so we're all set for that. So stop by our booth and stop by the convention. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, there are other guests that are going to be there, because it's not just a Doctor Who convention. We've got people like Linda Blair, LeVar Burton.
And Mark Garden, okay? Let's not forget the real celebrity here.
Yeah. Ric Flair. Woo! Is going to be there. Mick Foley is going to be there, if you're a wrestling fan. Lloyd Kaufman is coming back. Lloyd Kaufman of Drama Films, he'll be there. John Delancey, if you like My Little Pony. If you like Star Trek, he's there too. We have Ralph Macchio is going to be there. You can have fun with the Karate Kid himself. Lee Majors. Oh, yeah, the $6 million man, except I'm pretty sure he costs more than $6 million in today's money. Jason Mewes, Jay.
Oh, my God, yes.
He'll be there. Yes. Cindy Morgan, who we've had on the show of Caddyshack and Tron, will be there. It's going to be a fun convention. Must I also mention Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son. Got tons of people. Jeremy Palco, who we've had on the show, is going to be there. Chris Sarandon's going to be there. Armin Shimmerman. Work is going to be there. The list goes on and on. Oh, God. Tony Todd. I love Tony Todd. Tony Todd is like in everything. He is the genre.
Goodness. I'm getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
This is so many people.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
All in one place? About to tear the roof down.
Place at the Fort Lauderdale, or as it's sometimes called, Broward County Convention Center on the 17th Street Causeway in Fort Lauderdale. Be there this weekend, July 27th through 30th, and you will have a great time. If you want to get tickets in advance, and I don't know if you still can, but you can definitely go to floridasupercon.com for more information, or go to marku42.net and click on the link that is on the right side of your screen. So that's for this weekend. But, that's not all we're doing. We have more, Iggy.
What? Do you guys ever take a break? I mean, wow, what?
Well, okay, in August, we might be taking a slight break,
Okay, see, that's what I get for being facetious. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, August, well, you never know. We could announce something in 2 weeks that we're doing something in August, but...
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But in September, right after everyone has fun at Dragon Con, they should come down to the Space Coast in Cocoa, Florida at the Space Coast Convention Center for Space Coast Comic Con.
Yes!
Yeah, now Space Coast Comic Con is one of those local conventions that are really, really fun to go to.
Yeah, I remember when you guys first got into that, it started off like, oh, maybe, and then you guys came back and had a blast.
Yeah.
I was so jealous.
And we've got Jamie Engel, the author, there, and Riley and Kimmy, another talk show. They will be there. They're friends of Marku 42. And the most important part about this third Space Coast Comic Con, and we've done the first two, the most important part are the Spacey Awards. We want to win our second Spacey Award for Marku 42. Can we do it? You'll have
Yes,
to
we can.
We can.
Yes,
but to find out, you'll have to go September 8th through 10th, 2017 to Space Coast Comic Con at the Space Coast Convention Center. But in October, we have we always say Florida Supercon is the big one. And we always say MegaCon is the big one. But you know what? For Doctor Who conventions, this is the big one. We're going to Time Lord Expo.
What?
Time Lord Expo in Dayton, Ohio, October 13th through 15th.
What? You are wow, that is a long way from home there, Mark.
Yeah, we're gonna fly out there, we're gonna be put up in a hotel, and we're gonna host the panels with the guests. And you know what? Let me tell you about
and
the
margaritas.
guests. Let me tell you about the guests.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
You will like our guest list at Time Lord Expo. We've got Paul McGann. Hey, he's been on the show. We've interviewed him.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know him.
We've got Sylvester McCoy. Hey, we've had him on the show before.
Wait, what?
We've got Sophie Aldred. Oh, she's been on.
Oh, wait a minute.
She's been on several times. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Simon Fisher-Becker. Oh, hey, he's been on several times. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got,
I feel popular. Hold on a second. Keep going.
We've got Caitlin Blackwood. Wasn't she just on? Caitlin Blackwood was
she
just
was.
on our show a couple months ago.
Oh, my gosh.
We've got Ian McNeice. Well, he's been on our show. We've got.
But he's gonna be. He doesn't know that yet. But he's gonna be.
Ian McNeice has been on the show. We had one of our new interviews. Terry Malloy, Davros himself. He's been on the show. Now, one guy who hasn't been on the show, and I'm sorry to say, Daniel Hoffman Gill. Do you know who he is?
He is Daniel Hoffman Gill. That's who he is.
He's He's the guy that was playing off Peter Capaldi in season 9 during the Magician's Apprentice. You know, the medieval guy who is.
Oh my God!
Gonna be there, and maybe we'll get him on our show. He hasn't been.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be on our show. He just doesn't know that yet.
He doesn't know that,
but he's gonna be there.
Yeah. You know who else is gonna be there? Andrew Cartmel, script editor of the McCoy era, and he's been on our show at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Virginia Hay of Farscape and some of Big Finish. She's gonna be there, and Back Finish will be represented there. And
this is gonna be loaded.
Most importantly, at 9 a.m. on Saturday, October 14th, via a Skype video from London, Tom Baker.
No, shut the front door right now.
Shut the front door. We've got Tom Baker live at Time Lord Expo via Skype.
Everybody needs to bring their best scarves right now.
Now, there is an extra cost for the VIP experience to go to see the Tom Baker thing, but it's well worth it. and I'm totally doing it. I can't wait for it. Tom is autographing photos, and they're going to be given out to VIP holders only. So, to get a Tom Baker autograph, you've got to do this. Tom Baker can't fly anymore due to illness, and this is the second time he's done a Skype video at a convention, and this one I get to go to. I get to meet my first.
You are fangirling so hard right now. This is great.
The Tom will be there. So don't forget, go to Time Lord Expo in Dayton, Ohio, October 13th, 15th. When this episode is up, there will be a link to Time Lord Expo's ticket page, and you can just go to TimeLordExpo.com for more information. Wow.
Yes. I'm breaking a sweat over here. Okay? Wow.
Oh, and of course, I did skip one. September 29th through October 1st at the Tampa Convention Center is MegaCon Tampa Bay. And MegaCon Tampa Bay is the big one. No, I can't say it again.
No. Oh, come on.
We are we are 99% sure we are doing this convention. I can't give 100% because I don't have the contract in my hand. But we've done their convention last year and they liked us. And you know who's going to be there?
Who?
Shatner.
I think I just William my Shatner, our Shatner, my Logan, whichever one.
John Merriman is coming to that one. I'm stalking Jay because Jason Mewes will be there.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
But you know who else will be there?
Who?
Well, if Jay's there, can Silent Bob be far behind?
Oh, they're always. It's like having Christian and Mark.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't.
A married couple.
There. Not a married couple, not happening. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's all they say.
That's all I'm saying. All right. And there are comic guests, anime guests. Just like at Supercon, there'll be tons of comic guests, including, well, you'll just have to go and see. So, those are our conventions. That's our conventions for the next couple of months.
We are loaded.
That we've listed. Like I said, we could always show up at another one or two along the way. We like doing the convention circuit. It's fun. At some point, we've got to get you on the circuit with us.
I don't think you guys are ready.
No.
We're going to tear the roof down. You not ready?
Okay. Don't forget, go to marku42.net and join the Hooniverse Army. Go to Facebook page, Marku42. Tweet us at Marku42. Go to our Google Plus page, Marku42. Go to our Tumblr page, Marku42. Go to our Path page, Marku42. You can just type Marku42 into your Google or Bing, and you will find us.
Mark, I'm getting drunk. Oh my gosh.
I know. We're drinking a lot here. We're still plugging like crazy.
Water? What?
I'm drinking vodka, so it came out wrong.
It's clear. I can see the confusion.
Yeah. There is a similarity between water and vodka that's very handy when you go
convenient.
Places. When you go places and you have a bottle of water, how can they know?
Well, as soon as you say hi.
Yeah, maybe the breath.
Hi.
Maybe the breath. Yeah. Oh. Iggy, do you have any final words for our listeners?
Well, I'll just let you know that the minute that I join a convention with you guys, there will be margaritas involved. Maybe before, maybe during, maybe after. I don't know, but somewhere in there will be margaritas.
I will take you up on that. And maybe I'll even buy. How about that? So, So so go ahead.
No, we're going to go ahead and conclude that one because I'm excited. I'm over here looking and ready. I'm going to start searching for cons up here and seeing, keeping my eyes, put my feelers out there.
As we go forth to Supercon tomorrow and enjoy 4 days of super fun, we are going to end our show. Thank you very much to Cos A Commotion for coming on. You will get to see them at Florida Supercon as well. That's why we put them on this episode, so that you can learn
a fun group
and meet them at the convention. Until next time, have TARDISful travel. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Marku42 is written and presented by Mark Baumgarten, Christian Basil, Patty Hawkins, Iggy Matthews and Zion Kiros. This episode was edited, directed, and produced by Mark Baumgarten and co-produced by Christian Basil. Visit markwho42.net where you can register and become part of the Hooniverse Army. We can be contacted by email at mark@markwho42, subject line, ? If you'd like a chance to be a guest on our radio show, send an email to our Media Relations Director, Christian Basil, at markwho42media@yahoo.com. You can have Mark Who 42 entertain at your next event or convention. Go to heroesonhand.com/markwho42. Space Coast Comics is a free monthly magazine found in over 120 locations currently throughout Brevard County, parts of Osceola, Volusia, and Indian River County in Florida, and available in Chicago. Follow them on Facebook to learn more. Doctor Who and its properties are owned by the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. This show is owned and copyrighted by Mark Who 42 Enterprises, LLC, 2017. This is Krypton Radio.